right. Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. It's got some people still rolling in. We're really excited about today's webinar. We've been making some big enhancements, and coincidentally, we're actually safely now able to meet in person with everybody being vaccinated. So we are actually together today, which we haven't been in a long time. So yeah, I look forward to sharing everything with folks today. We've been working hard over the last year. It's been an interesting year, but I really wanted to today kind of talk about the new solutions that we're rolling out. As many of you know, we have a history of working with the advisor community, working directly with many of you to help you build, grow, and launch a scalable college planning practice. And we're now excited really to roll out what we call kind of a small office solution, as well as an enterprise solution to really serve organizations at a really higher level. So, we are excited to show you kind of what we've put together today. Wanted to walk through some of the steps, and then I'm going to kind of bounce around a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see this. Just want to talk a little bit like what we've built out from an institutional partner program, and then also how that feeds into the small offices. So essentially what we've built out is a couple different ways. We've created an administrative license that allows you to really manage an entire footprint from 2 advisors to 2,000 advisors. The ability to have insights and data on the number of leads that come in through the College Money Report, be able to distribute, share license, share cases with each other. Really excited to show you what we're doing there, and we'll show you in real time how that works. And then, as far as the components, we think of the solution we have, the full solution set. There is the College Money Report, which essentially is a lead capture tool. And really, what we have done with the College Money Report, and I'm going to show you in real time what that looks like, because it's built through the lens of a financial planning firm that not only wants to attract more prospects, but also wants to qualify those prospects. And they want to create what I would call an airtight funnel. So, attract leads, get them a personalized report, acquire them, but also then have them there to nurture. So, we think it's an opportunity to really position yourself as an advisor or as a firm. It's a huge opportunity to stand out. With the College Money Report, it's something you provide at scale for little cost to you, but can truly be a game changer for families in your community. So we'll walk through that. And then when we talk about creating a marketing funnel, one thing I know is I'm a huge fan of leveraging technology. So if you need to do it more than once, there's probably technology that can replicate that for you. So, when we talk about creating a turnkey solution, we've built out integration through Zapier and through some of the top communication applications like MailChimp or Redtail or Wealthbox. We have a lot of rails to help make sure that that's going. And if you need hand-to-hand somebody to help support you through that, we absolutely have that kind of capability as well. So, when you have new prospects, it's figuring out how do we do that? How do we make that turnkey so that a client comes in, creates a contact, creates an opportunity, and go all the way through the entire process in a really turnkey fashion. So that's what we've built out, and I'm going to show you how that works for our firm now in a white labeled format. So here is, the advisor license that we have is in there as well. So I think I'm just going to run with the whole thing, and if I don't, I'm screen sharing right now. So, so the advisor license. If Elizabeth has my login. Yep. I don't know what it is. I'm just going to roll. So we've got an advisor license that is really the hub, the advisor workstation that we work in. And then the other pieces that maybe people aren't as familiar with is we've got a very robust community. We've had over 250 advisors working inside of our platform for several years now. And I'll show you what that looks like in real time. Think of this as your think tank. If you've got questions about financial aid, if you've got questions about how to do an appeal, if you've got a question about a school you've never heard of, it's very likely that the community has some information on that. So, and then the academy, we've created a whole learning environment that if you're new to us or if you've been with us, you should see an academy that has a lot more options to it these days than you may have seen in the past. So we're going to continue to build that out, and that's going to be not only from us, but from other trusted resource partners like Lynn O'Shaughnessy and the Savvy College Planning Group, like Ross Riskin and the CCFC designation that we support. So other folks like that are providing great information that are out there. So, and at the end of the day, the tool needs to be end to end. So that means that you need to communicate with your clients. So the family portal, I'll show you how that works inside and how you can help coach clients to get great outcomes for college. So I'm going to hop in and just go right into real time, how this puppy works. So when we talk about creating a funnel, this is my firm. I say, we've got 150 reasons why college planning works, because we work with about 150 families right now. We've built a very profitable firm all around really marketing college planning. The way that we do it, we have this on our website, but we are a comprehensive planning firm. So we like to say, don't look at college in a vacuum. We really do have this college planning, college retirement investments. How do we make it all work? That's really our approach. It's helping people understand the trade-off, but you have to solve their number one concern, which is paying for college, to have a shot at the rest of the business. So, the College Money Report, it's for lead capture, but it's also for qualifying leads that maybe come to you and book a discovery call. So if they come through here directly, or if they come through something like come to your website, this whole College Money Reports really begin to help families on their journey. Less than 5 minutes, they put in the right information. It's going to give them some tremendous output. It shows them how much colleges think they can afford, if you're going to qualify for grants and scholarships, and ultimately, what are you going to be expected to pay out of pocket? Now, I'm going to pause there for 1 second, because what you're going to be expected to pay out of pocket, that's something that most families and even students find out when it's way too late, and it's when they get their first bill or their financial aid award letter. That's, this time of year. If we haven't had a college money conversation, a meaningful college money for conversation, and if advisors are leaving things on the table and not talking about the true cost of college, if we're not advising on it, we have a long way to go in our industry. It's kind of been something that's been, I don't say looked down upon, but certainly something that's not been focused on in our industry. And we're trying to change that. We want to raise the bar in advice. And we think this report is a great way, just even anybody that comes to your website to provide that. So this is an example of a customized college money report. So somebody comes in, when they click on this report, and they're going to go through some prompts. And this is a great way to learn about them, their student, where they live, how many people are in their household, what high school, when are they going to graduate, do they have any siblings, and then what is their academics and what are their financials. This is going to determine their eligibility for scholarships and need-based financial aid. The beauty of this is, as long as the information goes in, you don't have to know everything about college planning. College Aid Pro will do the rest if the right information is put in. So, you learn about their income and their assets, because that's going to determine their eligibility for need-based financial aid. And then, home equity is a component for some. And then at the finish line, we're going to say, okay, great. If you'd like this report, put in your email, we'll email you your custom report. So it's really a lead capture. So 2 things happen when that college money report is completed. The report goes instantaneously off to the client or prospect in this case. And then the advisor is alerted through email to say, hey, Riley's family has just completed their college money report. So that's powerful, because not only do you get the college money report, but you get the data that they put in. So you're able to quickly see what's their income and assets at a rough, what they would need for the FAFSA. And then what kind of prospect is this for us, right? So then in the college money report, it can't be understated that we want to simplify this process. We want to democratize the way America shops for college. Because when we look at what it is right now, it's very opaque. There's a lot of information out there, but I'd say it could be misinformation. So the college money report is really a way to provide great information on the college money report. You get to customize the front end of this thing. So this is something that's fully customized. You get to, there's some disclosures built in, but you can add your own, and you can see it's all custom to the color palette. And then, the key here is you got to know before you go these 3 things. If you know this, you'll know more than 90% of folks. Ultimately it drives to, what do we think we're going to have to pay out of pocket? So we illuminate how financial aid, it is confusing, right? It's going to be even more confusing in the future, because the whole term EFC is getting changed. So, this is an interesting thing here that, this creates a tremendous opportunity, in my opinion, because when we look at the changing landscape of college planning, it's always dynamic. I've been doing this for over a decade, specifically focusing on this. And I can tell you that every year it's a little bit different. COVID certainly created some challenges, not only, as a service provider, but also as a software provider. So we really want to put this in a children's book form. How do we break this down? Because if you're on this call, you're in a financial institution, and this is complicated for you. I had multiple certified financial planners call me within the last week because they don't understand this stuff, right? So we try and break this down. If you think like you're a financial person, you don't understand it. Think of yourself as a parent. Think about this 16, 17-year-old making possibly one of the biggest buying decisions of their life. So let's break this down. Let's peel back the layers of the onion here. What is cost of attendance? Well, that's a college's sticker price, right? What is EFC? Well, that's what the colleges think you can pay each year. These are important things. And then what's need? Well, that's your eligibility for need-based aid based on your financial circumstances. And then need-based grants, that's the discount you might get. Merit scholarships is based on your academics. At the end of the day, all that matters is the bottom line, net cost. Cost of attendance minus grants and scholarships. So a statistic that continues to rise is that the average private college that was surveyed, over 350 of them submitted, the average tuition discount was over 52%. Let that one sink in. The average tuition discount from over 350 private schools out there was over 52%. So the sticker price is irrelevant if you understand how to shop. So that's what we drive into, and helping people peel back the layers of this onion even further. So let's dig further into need-based aid. Well, that's the cost of the school each year minus what they think you can pay, EFC. That's going to be your eligibility for need-based financial aid. Concrete example, $75,000 to go to Harvard. You have an EFC of 30, your need eligibility is $45,000. The good part about Harvard is if you have need, they made 100%. So I'm going to pause on this one for 1 second, because many families that are lower income families that have bright students, they're ruling schools out based on the sticker price. So one of the challenges we see is, how do we illuminate the fact that some of these highest priced schools may actually be the most affordable for you because they're so generous with need-based financial aid? So case in point to that, I've said it on many of the talks we've been having, but these things continue to come up of, guiding families. We have an inner city, low income mom that works 2 jobs. She hustles like crazy. And long story short, they were looking at community college and maybe Ohio State, our state school's in the backyard, which is a great school for an affordable $27,000 a year. But what we were able to do is say, look, some of these great schools out there, they would actually pay for you to come. They'd love to have you. So we're sending this particular student to Georgetown for half the price he would have went to Ohio State. And it's all because of the way that their business model works. So the way we break this down and really personalize this, though, is to say, look, Riley, here's the deal. Here's what you need to know. There's 3 formulas that schools may use to determine your EFC. Most schools use a public method called a federal EFC, the federal methodology. A lot of private schools use what's called an institutional EFC, and some of our elites use a consensus EFC. Depending on your situation, these can vary dramatically. So what I mean by that is, for instance, a federal school, if you're in a divorce situation, they only look at one parent's income and assets, whereas these other 2, they're going to look at everybody's income and assets. So that you can see how that can wildly skew what they think you can afford, but it creates opportunity as well if you know how to harness it and you've got a platform that you can help do that easily. So we try and provide some logic. In this case, you're not going to be eligible for need-based grants at most public colleges, but you will be at private colleges. So that's important for people to understand. It's all about the bottom line. So you'll be eligible for some merit scholarship at some colleges as well because you're a talented student. Now, here's where we really try to dive in deeper. It's really about looking at the College Money Report. They put in 3 schools of interest, right? So most people have schools they're interested in. What they don't know is other schools that may be great for them. So we're giving them a jumping off point here that for you all on this call, the idea is they're going to reach out because they want to learn more, right? So, but at a high level, the 1-year cost and the 4-year cost side by side. And so, we're looking at Ohio State, an in-state state school. We're looking at Penn, which is obviously an Ivy and an elite private. And we're looking at a small private here, all side by side, right? So if you look at this quickly, you're going to say, look, you're telling me I could go to Penn for a fraction more than I could go to a state school and less than I could go to this small private school? And the answer is yes, because of the way they do financial aid. So what we try to illuminate as well is understanding how a school's business model works. Because there's 3 things, it's kind of a 3-headed monster. You've got they're going to look at your finances to determine your eligibility for need-based financial aid, right? And then they're going to look at your academics to determine your eligibility for scholarships. And those are two things that are important. The thing that a family cannot influence, and we can't influence, is the school's business model. What I mean by that is some schools only award based on need, while others do great with merit scholarship. Depending on your situation, the way you shop for college is completely different. And if you're an advisor and you're working with families in this space, every family, every student is a snowflake. Everyone is unique. Their financial profile is different. You could have 5 families on the same street. The way they shop for college could be completely different because of those 3 factors. So we help try and illuminate that and understand, here's how this was going to shake out if you were to look at Ohio State. You're going to get a little bit of merit scholarship, good for all 4 years, $2,000 off the sticker price. So, not bad, but not a tremendous scholarship. We also want you to understand their business model. How do the academics work? What's it take to get in? What's their middle 50%, is what we report here. This helps you understand this is where most schools qualify for merit scholarship based on your academics, right? So one of the things that we've had to rework within the College Aid Pro system is what's schools they're calling themselves test optional or test blind, right? So we're working hard behind the scenes as we go into our projections for next year to really iterate on our platform for those. So we're showing the cost, what the EFC is, really what their business model is. It'll say things in here like, 27% of students at Ohio State got some form of non-need merit scholarship, and the average was $6,800. Now with schools that have athletic scholarships, you got to be careful because some of those could be, you got to be 6'4" and 1 4 240 if you want some of that merit scholarship money. So you have to look at these things with a grain of salt. Other things are, things that we're very detailed on is as far as financial need. Well, just because the school says that they meet 72%, I could tell you as you're an out-of-state student coming to Ohio to go to school, you're not going to get a penny of need-based financial aid. That money's reserved for the in-state kids. But wait, Joe, the average says 72%, which is accurate. The problem is you need to peel back another layer of the onion, right? So you don't have to know these things. You just have to put the information in College Aid Pro. We'll do the rest. So UPenn, this is obviously a tremendous school when we look at it, right? So here's the 4-year cost, 39 times 4, 40 times 4, that doesn't equal 120. Well, what's happening here? The system is smart enough to tell you that when you have a sibling in school, your cost is going to go down. It's going to be similar to that of a state school because they meet 100% of need-based financial aid. So years 2, 3, 4 actually could be cut significantly. Now I'll pause on that because we're looking at a net cost, a sticker price of $347. We're only going to pay $120. The answer is yes, potentially. So there's a lot of talk right now, and I'll hit on this real quick because questions have been coming in as far as what is the state of things. What is the state of this overlap in students? The new FAFSA rules that are proposed, but coming to a student aid index as opposed to an EFC, how they're going to look at divorce situations and alimony and child support. There's a lot of changes. One of the big ones is how the federal schools and the FAFSA is going to look at multiple kids in school, basically saying there's no discount. And the indications we have right now are that many of the private schools still plan to provide that discount because, they use either consensus or an institutional method. We've had, and trust me, nobody's going to be more on top of this than our team. We do working with our clients and supporting our advisors in the field. Nobody's more on top of what we think is going to happen, but stay tuned for more on that. We've done webinars on it. In the past, we've got blog posts on it. We're going to continue to do that. And Matt Carpenter, one of our co-founders, even has a petition out there to petition that particular rule. And I'm going to encourage everybody to fill that out when they have an opportunity. We'll send it out and follow up.
Yeah, I'll put the link right in the chat here, Joe. Hello, everybody, by the way.
Yeah, sorry. So we'll put that in the chat. We'll put some other things in the chat as well. But it's really important that we advocate for our families out there because our whole approach, and you'll see from that, is that rule is hurting people that they didn't intend for it to hurt. It's hurting people that have a teacher and a fireman working in a house, or people that making low 100,000s. That doesn't mean they're wealthy. Trying to support a family. So. So we're pretty passionate about making sure that we democratize college shopping. What that means is we provide access to a great education to every family out there at a price they can afford. And with College Aid Pro, we can get there. So sorry for the soapbox there, but it's something we're pretty passionate about. And then the last one here, it's small privates. They do a ton with merit scholarship, and we're going to provide you with a very good estimate. We see about an 85 to 90% accuracy of our estimates when we're looking at actuals versus proposed, because we have thousands of award letters now in the system, and that's actually going to help inform us even further as we go into the future. So, again, cost of attendance, here's their method. How much do they meet with grants though? These are important data points. If you're a need-based candidate, they're not going to give you a lot. They may give you some, but it's going to be in the form of loans and work studies. So, that's the nerdy stuff that you don't have to worry about if you're subscribing to College Aid Pro. We'll do the work for you in the backdrop. You've got the college nerds that have your back here. So, and you can link out to all the schools right from the College Money Report. So imagine you're a family, you've got this report and you're going, okay, cool. Like, honestly, all those schools, I don't know how the heck I'm going to pay for any of them. Well, here's some other schools you may want to consider, Riley. You're going to want to look at schools that are very generous with need-based financial aid, like Oberlin College. And this is based on zip code. So this is highly dialed in based on a school that family would be familiar with. It's a very popular small private school in Ohio. Another school would be Capital. They're very generous with merit scholarships. Both of those schools have to package to compete. What I mean by that is they have to package up things so that they can compete with each other and they compete with the big dog down the street, Ohio State. They can't be charging kids $75,000 or $60,000. They can charge a little premium because it is a different experience, but they've got a package to compete with these other schools. So, we're trying to provide some logic, and there's this fascination amongst high school kids to go to the state school next door, and the tuition's typically triple, and many of them don't have a lot of financial aid. So, that's a case by case, but, looking at certain schools, you want to be very careful. Do they offer merit scholarships or need-based financial aid for out-of-state students? In many cases, they do not. But again, the school's business model, it's different all over. We can't say a blanket statement like this, but you want to be cautious of these schools, cautious of private schools that don't do good with grant money like NYU. And at the end of the day, you're this family, you might be thinking, hey, how the heck are we going to actually afford this? The cheapest option there was $116,000. How do we do that? Make sure we can graduate with manageable debt without robbing retirement. And then ultimately, what are some schools we don't know about? What's some money that we can find we don't have? So, for me, we want them to schedule a call. So what that does in our system at College Aid Pro, that creates, it begins the prospecting tool. So this family now comes into a prospect tab for me. And in our system, when we talk about airtight funnel, we use integrations to systematize everything. So what happens is an email goes out, they schedule through Calendly. That Calendly link, once they populate that account and put in their email, we now know we've got this contact that has a College Money Report. When I show up to my meeting, I have their College Money Report sitting there for me in that calendar event. So that's how dialed in we can be, because we need to run a very efficient ship, and we all do. Anytime you can gain, and I'm happy to share that with you. And when we get into the masterclass, I think that's going to help some of you take some of the sting out of this. You're saying this is all great, but how the heck do we do it? So I want to show you now inside of College Aid Pro. So this is, that family that had come in for Riley. We want to go in and figure out this family situation. So now, all they know is what the schools think they can afford, and those 3 schools, College Money Report, and they're going, what about other schools? So let me walk you through a little bit of how we dig deeper, right? So the one thing that we are big on is what we call college pre-approval. What if every student had to get pre-qualified and pre-approved for college like they do for a mortgage? You think we'd be having kids walk out with $100,000 in student loans? No bank would give that loan. But with college, there's free-flowing money. So we want to say, look, here's what they think you can afford. What can you actually afford? So we're going to step them through. And I got to show you too, there's lots of ways you can interact with the client, because with most folks, their information's already in the system, because we can put them through a discovery process, which is just a data collection process. We can go through onboarding, which invites them to their client portal and prompts them and then puts them right in. Or we can simply say, just go ahead and collaborate from day one. We also have a self-registration link. So, you can put this up on your website and say, sign up for the College Aid Pro family portal today. We've got advisors doing different things. We have created every single way for you to get a client onboarded that we can think of. A discovery process, an onboarding, a collaborate, a self-registration link you can prop up. So, as we've continued to grow, advisors have put in suggestions and we've tried to deliver. So, if you're with us now, you're seeing what we're doing. Hope you're excited about what we've done. Hope you're even more excited about what we're going to share with you today as we kind of talk about how we've expanded the platform. So pre-approval. The good news is there's prompts for everything along the way. If you look down this right tab, what do you have in 529s? What are you contributing each month? And then what are we going to have total? Do you have any other assets? Let's talk about cash flow. How much can you cash flow towards college? Critical part for most families. $400 a month doesn't sound like much, but over 48 months, it's 20,000 bucks. So will they qualify for the American Opportunity Tax Credit? Right here, calculate automatically for you. And then let's talk about the student, right? How much can the student contribute to this process, right? Are they expected to work while they're in school? And if they are, is it beer and pizza money, or is it going towards tuition? Because that's a very different thing. But it's $10,000 here. And one of the things that I'll point out, like a rule of thumb, $10,000, what does that mean? That means that's $10,000 you don't take out in student loans. Rule of thumb is for every $10,000 you take out in student loans, you're going to owe back $100 per month for 10 years for every $10,000. So that's $100 a month for 10 years that I'm sure that Riley would like to have something to do with that, as opposed to put it towards that. And then grandparent help. This is an opportunity, for if you are a larger institution and you've got an aging demographic, the ability to have a conversation with a grandparent about two of the most important things in their life, their grandkids and education. Their grandkids and education, right? So, if you have that opportunity, I can tell you as an advisor that works each and every day with very successful 45 to 50-year-olds, they still can't talk to their parents about money. And we're trying to break that cycle because we're trying to bring this college money conversation. And this actually can be a tri-generational conversation. And I got to tell you, having done this for 10 years, we've had to morph our practice because guess what? We're at a point we may have to stop taking clients and add more staff because we're bringing more in from inheritance and people transitioning to retirement in the first quarter of this year than we have from new clients. The dozen or so new clients we brought in, they're great, but our current clients are growing with us like crazy. Instead of just going after the 63-year-old with the liquidity event going into retirement, we're going and getting them when they're 50 and we're going to grow with them. And guess what? When mom and dad pass away, 70% of those people, they're going to stick with the advisor that they have. They're going to stick with us and that money's going to come to Capstone. So, for our firm. So if you're in that situation and you want to make sure you're establishing relationships with 3 generations now, the grandparents, consider it a silver sneaker program, the Gen Xer. And then now you've got, if you're a bank or a credit union, or you want to work with younger clients, help them with student loans, you've got 3 generations. We've developed a service specifically for graduating seniors and early in their career. Well, why do we do that? Because we ask our clients, what's your number one financial concern? Making sure that the kids get off to a great start in their financial life. Cool. Well, let's talk about your company benefits. Let's talk about why you contribute to a 401k. Let's talk about the most efficient way to pay off your student loans if you have them. So, those things evolve over time. But the reality is now we have our EFCs, what they think we can afford. And now we have a budget. And now we can go shopping intelligently. So people come in with their list of schools, right? And I got to, tell you that this particular software, one thing we do real well is most softwares only show you the cost of attendance. That's all they show you. All of our traditional financial planning software, they show you the cost of attendance. But you can see the cost of attendance and the net cost are very different, right? So we're actually providing, we're doing a disservice to folks by providing with this level of stuff. So we actually, if you're only talking about this and you're only looking at 529s and the college planning modules within traditional planning software, you're really doing a disservice to your clients. Some of these conversations can bring dream schools into play, right? So you have all these schools. For every school in the country, we're going to tell you here's a little bit about that school. Here's the academics. Here's their business model. If they're a private school, what's their health grade? And then every scholarship for every school in the country. So in this case, look, you're going to be eligible not only for a scholarship, but an automatic scholarship based on your ACT and GPA. So right off the top, it's $20,000 a year, $80,000. $80,000. Imagine having those kind of conversations with folks. More importantly, we have advanced search. So think of this as like, this is how you shop for orbits, or you shop for things online. You can go say, look, I just want to go see schools for me, and I want to make sure they're within a day's drive, 500 miles. I want to make sure they have, my major. I want to make sure it's a ranked school. And let's say, I'm not a need-based financial aid candidate. I just want to see schools sorted by merit scholarships. Right. So what's going on here? Right. So we're looking at, what kind of schools within 500 miles could be great for our family that maybe we weren't thinking about. Right. So these are pretty powerful things. So we're looking at, you can add them right to the list. You can go explore more, learn more about that college. Like, And what are we looking at here? Okay, well, Sarah Lawrence, what does that look like? What type of grades? Oh, cool. It's 78,000, but they do pretty good with non-need merit. So cool. Let's go ahead and add that to the list. I think it's a pretty good school for us to consider. So, again, the power there. And then on the flip side, you say, look, I'm not a need-based candidate. I just want to look at schools that are going to give me the highest need. And that's a very different list, right? The schools within a 100-mile radius, if you're a lower income family, again, you're ruling out a lot of these schools. Schools like Virginia, Notre Dame, Case Western. The reality is they may be more affordable for you than your state school if you're a low income family. You got to get in. But some of these schools, look, these are schools we all know. So, just understand the way you shop for college is not predetermined. It is a snowflake process. But look, like I said, you don't have to know all this stuff. You just have to know how to navigate College Aid Pro and put the right inputs in. We'll give you the answers, right? So that's College Aid Pro, getting you to and through. And we're also going to help track applications, help families track their applications. One of the big things we're really big on is tracking financial aid award letters. I think we probably have as many, if not more, collectively than any platform out there, as we continue to grow. And we're going to help compare and analyze side by side what's your cost that's remaining at these different schools, and how does that stack up? So that's going to inform our future algorithms as well. Because at the end of the day, when we think about what CAP is really built for, it's really to help ensure that every family finds an affordable college. So mom and dad know that their kids, that they can be a great hero to their kids. Let us be your guide as your financial planner. You be a hero. Your kid gets a great outcome. You stay on track for retirement. Everybody wins here. And there's great colleges that really want to have great kids come. So, when we look at this list, if I said, look, top choice is University of Illinois, I'd say that's awesome. It's a great school. It's a phenomenal school, especially certain programs, right? But look at the outcome here. Here's what we're looking at. Here's your net cost. Here's what you have budgeted for Illinois. Somebody's going to have to figure out how to pay the delta, the $100,000. So $100,000, these are abstract numbers, right? Especially to a 17-year-old. We don't teach personal finance. This stuff is hard for CFPs, let alone financial planners, let alone the 16-year-old that's never even had a paycheck or balanced a checkbook. So $100,000, what they can understand, if you go here, your take-home pay is just a little under $3,200, and you have a payment of over $1,100 per month for 10 years. But here's the good news. The government's here to help. You can stretch that payment out and be in debt until you're 50. You'll pay us 3 times as much interest, but we got your back, right? So that's not a great solution, but what is a good solution? And we talked about PIN. You got to get in, but I don't think anybody'd say we're sacrificing quality here, right? If you can get into PIN, coming out with less than $10,000 worth of debt, I mean, this is a pretty good outcome here, right? And then there's other schools along the way, and it's depending on this could be a great fit, great school, So again, it's just helping guide families to a more informed college buying decision. And I got to tell you, what we're learning from advisors is, the families like the College Aid Pro family portal so much that they're doing 90% of the work. The family's doing the work at home. So it's taking that load off the advisor. So, so the advisor workstation was our first solution. We say we kind of built the space shuttle. Now we're building out pieces to continue to support. So when we talked about the college money report as kind of that front end chassis, you've got the workstation that's in there. Billy's going to walk you through our teams and our analytics tool. But even before we get there, I wanted to share a little bit of information, on what we've continued to build out is this think tank in the community. This is financial aid appeal season. People love to talk about, some of the cooler things to talk about that we hear. Private scholarships, right? That's one. So guess what? New feature, we built out a private scholarship search. That's thing number one. So you can go and search, and there's no spam here. You can save your favorites, right? So you say, I want this one and this one. I want to learn a bit more. I want to go to the website. You can do private scholarships. Pretty cool. Right inside of the College Aid Pro family portal. Now, to be clear, I don't do the private scholarship search. I encourage the parents and the students to log into their portal and do the private scholarship search. So, it can be powerful. It's a way to say, yes, we have a private scholarship search tool right inside of our platform for all of our families. We can help you unlock tens of billions of dollars. The reality is it's less than 10% of college is actually paid from private scholarships, but people, it's kind of the buzzword. So, another thing this time of year is appeals. So our community is built by all of our advisors across the country. We've got some true leaders and rock stars in here that help us really moderate this, but this is by you, for you. So, you're not just getting, our core team, you're also getting the some of the best college financial planning minds in the country. So, if it appeals, is what I mean by that is, can we appeal to a school to get additional dollars? And the answer is yes. So we provide resources, but you can see in here, well, look, like here, Matt put together his negotiating appeals webinar that they do for families, right? We got, advice here. What about this school? What do we know about that school? What are our expectations? So I can tell you this, even myself, in the last week, we got an additional award of $5,000 per year, 20,000 over 4. And our biggest one we got is 16,000 per year, an additional merit scholarship money for one of our students. So that's $64,000. $64,000 that, unless we kind of shepherded that family and provided them with some context of how to ask for that money, they probably would not have gotten it. So, we have examples like that each and every year, but, that is an important part. But to have a chance to appeal, guess what? You need to have built a great school list. So that's just where we're at in this cycle right now. But I'm so excited because, when $64,000, that client's never leaving our firm. That's $64,000. They could go buy them probably the nicest car that they could imagine. So, it brought a dream school into play, and we're thrilled with that outcome for that family. But you can see, we have private groups in here. We've got master classes and everything. And then the other thing we're excited about is we're continuing to build out our academy. College Aid Pro Academy has become, it's a beast in and of itself. We've got a foundations course that really helps you learn the basics of financial aid, then also learn how to apply. It's a step-by-step training. And I would say, if you haven't been in there, even if you've been with us a long time, consider this an awesome resource for yourself, because it's a step-by-step. You can go through, how do we do the family portal? How's the best way to gather data? What about the school search tab? All these things in a step-by-step format. It took me hours to build this, dozens and dozens of hours. We've encapsulated it into about 3 hours. So if you're thinking, how do we get up to speed? Why start here with the foundations course? And then from there, you can go back and, one of the things that we heard again and again from advisors is, this is all great. You've got this great software and application, but like, how do we take this to market? So what do? We built a masterclass, right? So we talked about this in terms of the way we designed this is, what do we need? We need to understand how to build a great funnel. So we've done this, and we've recorded this and mastered it with a professional course designer. So it really is about, understanding, here's everything. How do we get butts and seats? How do we get people to show up and listen? Be that through webinars, centers of influence, referrals. How do you hold a great discovery meeting, right? And through all of this, there's presentation slides, there's resources and materials you can download. We got all kinds of stuff, things that you can explore within our platform. We've got brochures you can utilize, right? We've got a number of things that you could utilize within directly from what you have inside of your academy for learning, and then also in the community. So, I think sometimes we get so mired in the details of wanting to continue to build, we forget to remind folks of all these great things we already do. So, we've added a masterclass, we've added a private scholarship search tool. The community continues to grow, and I think be probably the best think tank in the industry. And then Billy, if you're on, I'm going to kind of turn it over to you, because we're excited about where we're at. We're even more excited to share with you guys what we would call kind of this institutional partner program. And institutional, what does that mean? Basically the way we think of this is, there's large institutions that could have 100 advisors on platform and it'll work for them. But guess who else it really works well for? Folks like me. I've got a 4-person team. We've got two advisors, paraplanner, and an office manager. And what we've been able to do and increase efficiency with our data analytics and our client sharing and Teams tools that Bill's going to show you, it's completely changed how efficient we're able to be. So, Billy, I'll turn it over to you. But we're excited to show everybody this solution.
Yeah, happy to demo here, Joe. I'm going to share my screen here, and let's see. I think, Joe, if you stop sharing, I'll go ahead and share here. So just a little context here, at a company level, I think what we're super proud of and what has helped us kind of get to where we are today is our unbelievable community of advisors, right? Joe kind of alluded to that, where we have hundreds of advisors across the country doing very good work out there. And, we pride ourselves in utilizing their feedback, right? So one of the pieces of feedback that we've gotten was, hey, listen, I got a small office, or, I'm at a credit union or a bank. We would love to have sort of a solution for a small office, or, we have even a larger team. We would love to be able to have everyone within an organization share cases, things like that. So we took that feedback, we went to work, and kind of this is what we came out with. So for existing advisors who have an individual license, this may be new. If you have a small office, it might interest you. So the first thing is having the ability to kind of have build out your team within the same organization. Okay, so we're all starting, and again, to give a little bit more context, I'm going to show you our consulting firm. Matt and I have a consulting firm. We've been running that for the past 15 years, and we're starting to build out our team. And every year we add more and more advisors. But this is kind of a snapshot, and all of these advisors now are within the same organization, our consulting firm. Okay, so for this teams or small office or enterprise solution, you have the ability as a super admin to manage licenses. So if you wanted to go ahead and add more licenses, you can. Pretty simple. Go ahead and add 1, 2. Simple checkout process, all connected. And then you could add them to your organization. Okay. The other component here is that we also have an admin license. So you may have someone in your office who is only concerned with maybe monitoring reports, the analytics, things like that, which I'm going to get to in just a moment. We have an admin role, and then we're currently developing an assistant role. Okay, where we're very close to the finish line, where you can purchase a license for an assistant, and they'll have the ability to do data inputs for you, run reports for you, things like that. So we're really trying to cultivate this, a small office or teams concept, again, to make your practice with college funding as scalable and seamless as possible. So you have the ability to manage your licenses, reduce your licenses, things like that. And then the other kind of more, fun concept to this solution is this ability to share cases. And there's different levels of sharing. And I'm going to show you those as quickly as I can here. So I also, I'm an admin on this account. I'm also an advisor. I work with clients directly. Okay. So, what I can do, I could share one-to-one. So for example, for Sam Scully here, I could go ahead and say, all right, I want to share access to this case just today, and say, Jared, please check out the home equity here and make some recos. Okay. So when I go ahead and send this, Jared's going to get an email notification with my message. Okay. On my side, I could see that I've shared it with Jared. Okay. And then Jared has access to that. So shared one-to-one. And if you bear with me, I'm going to jump screens. So now I'm kind of logged in as if I'm Jared. I could go to clients. If I'm Jared, I could see all the clients that I work with directly, but I could also see those that were shared with me. So if I go with shared, okay, Sam Scully was shared with me just for today. I saw the note in the email. I could go ahead, check out this case, offer my feedback. Okay. So that's kind of our sharing on a one-to-one level. Now I'm going to go ahead and jump back to my screen, Bill's screen. So I could share one-to-one. I could also, as an admin, set up automatic sharing between me and Jared always. Okay. And I've done this with a few new reps, where what I'll do is every new case that a new rep that we brought on and we're training and things like that, I'll set up automatic sharing right from here. So I can see all of their cases anytime that they run it. So that way I can kind of chime in as needed. And then we have a global sharing. So automatic sharing, right now it's disabled. That's how we run our business. But for some offices, maybe they have 4 or 5 advisors doing this work, an assistant. If I enable this sharing, everyone in the office can have access to to seeing all the cases within that organization. So we kind of have those different levels of sharing, one-to-one, that's sort of in between, and then that global sharing. And so, for our practice, that, and I think Joe kind of articulated this as well, it really has upped the level of service we're able to provide in really making us even more efficient, right? The CAP tool itself has taken what used to, maybe take around 6 or 7 hours for me to do on a client down to maybe 20 minutes. And now we're cutting that down even further by having the ability to share amongst our organization. So we have this, the ability to share cases. And then what I think is the most powerful here with this, teams concept, or, small office or enterprise, is the ability to start really looking at the data, right? So what we can do is we have different levels of, how granular we want to get in terms of the data that we're capturing here, whether it's through the college money report, right, through our prospects, or let me shut my notifications off here. That's a party foul. So this reports dashboard, I like to call it the at a glance reports, right? So this allows me to kind of log in there as I kind of step away from the front lines and I'm in more of a management role, kind of see, okay, all the advisors that we have in our organization, how many cases, how many families they're working with. Give it 1 second. And we could build our own charts as well. So maybe we want just to look at clients by advisor. Maybe we want it in a pie chart, and maybe we want to look at what happened in the past 30 days. Okay. Maybe, what we did in the past 30 years, or we could drill down just based on the advisor. So we can start to really get, customizable with regard to how you want to run your practice and what you want to see on a day-to-day basis. You can go ahead and save that. It's going to be propped up here, and then you could tailor make this. What do you want to see? What's most important to you? So that way, you're getting the most out of your educational planning practice. Okay. And so these are sort of your high level reports, help you run your business. But really where I think it gets powerful is drilling down into the actual data that we're essentially collecting, and then being able to leverage that to help improve your practice on the marketing front or retargeting front. And I'll show you in just a moment.
Yeah, and I think, Bill, like really the way that I frame up what we're able to do with custom reports is what we've done with this in our firm is it's really allowed us to make this our marketing hub. So what do I mean by that? Like we have people in our database that are prospects that have never taken any action with us. So, one of the campaigns, the beauty of this now, like I can say, like just pull all the class of 2022, our rising seniors, right? And then I want to send them a campaign to say, hey, here's what you got to be thinking about. You need to book a meeting today to learn about how we can help you find and source more schools. Find the right school for you, not just the 3 that you entered in your college money report. So, as you can see here, guys, like I consider this a marketing hub because you can download, upload it into your CRM. So you can see as he's going through. We've created some templates, some railways, but I really think this like if we have Google Analytics, we can see what's going on for our folks, and then this is a marketing hub. You've got a ton of data.
It's been very helpful for us as well, especially drilling down by class. Because you could speak to the pain points per class. If you have a freshman, sophomore, the messaging and the conversation is going to be much different than, a rising senior where this family's hair is on fire and they're really kind of in the process. So you can kind of tailor make your messaging around this and really leverage this. And when you kind of take a step back, we collect a lot of data here, right? So it could be a little overwhelming. But if you take your time and you kind of sift through it, you can build your own custom report. But to help folks kind of get out of the box here, we built just off the shelf templates, right? So, we have a college money report template, right? So that's automatically going to pull in all of the information that comes via your college money report, or AKA your prospects, right? So it pulls everyone in. We can get their name, their emails, what their adjusted gross income is. Do they have siblings? What their class year is. And then we can slice and dice this as we want. We can download it to an Excel. It's already saved as a template here. Or we can get a little bit more granular and say, okay, well, we only want to do a campaign around the class of 2022 at the moment. And, we could download this and say, at this point, maybe we want to drill down further and say, we're going to filter this to only folks that, have an AGI above 150. So it really gives you a lot of power here, whether you're dealing with your prospects or, organization wide, even with your clients as well. So, we built a simple marketing kind of contact information. Let's pull everybody's name, everybody's email, where they're from, their zip code. I know for what we're getting intentional about is kind of taking a look at the sibling information. So this report gives you, okay, here are families that have multiple kids and seeing where their siblings are at in this kind of college educational planning pipeline, and then start kind of targeted campaigns there, and cultivate that messaging accordingly. So we have these kind of out of the box, templates, and then obviously you have the ability, once you get comfortable, kind of build your own report. You can go and kind of sift through, everything we have. And actually we even kind of lumped some of this information together. So this is sort of our, grouped information. If we want, let's pull all the parent income information right there. And then if you wanted to get super granular, you could go to the detailed view and kind of pick and choose your own. So again, even with reporting, we try to kind of build levels for everyone, kind of your at a glance, very, high level, easy to digest. How am I running my business? But these custom reports can really get granular in terms of, who are these folks who are coming through our door? How can we look at this data and, formulate a plan on how we can, best serve these particular folks and cultivate that message accordingly.
I get so excited about this because we're kind of practice management, and technology is something I'm really passionate about. Just its ability to help advisors scale. So this is one more way that you can really scale, create campaigns, and have conversations. So here's what we would love. I'm going to put they're going into the chat right now. There's a link. And that link is specifically to have a conversation about you and your firm and looking into the analytics tools and the team sharing tool. If you're looking if we've had a lot of requests over the years for people to say, hey, can I get an assistant license? So we're there now. So what we would love is if check out the chat. That's a link to have a conversation with Dave on our team, who many of you may know. If you are with us currently and you've got some of our solutions and you'd like to talk about what it would look like for your team to add advisors or add an assistant or add some of the analytics, book a call with Dave. So, because everybody has different needs. So here's what we're doing. If you book a call and you end up adding or upgrading your service, whatever that upgrade is, we're going to give you a free month of that. If you're new to us and you're getting a whole new suite, if you book a demo by the end of the week, the demo doesn't have to be this week, but book that demo by the end of the week, and we're going to provide you with a free month. So, again, if you're with us already and you've been wondering how we can do teams and have some more analytics, add an assistant, go ahead and make sure you book that meeting, have a conversation with us about how we can help you with that. Part of that too is have a conversation about your funnel and how we want to help you grow your business, and how college planning can be a part of that, growing your business. So, and again, if you're new to us, let's have a conversation. If you're a single advisor, you've got a team, if you're a bank or a credit union that has joined us today, just let's have a conversation. Hopefully, we can dig in, learn more about your organization, learn how our team's concepts, our advisor workstation, our portal, and I have to say too, what we've learned and what we're providing for some folks these days as well is the human capital. So if this is all intimidating to you, I want to say three things as we close today. If you like what you've seen, there's three ways to go about this. Number one, you can become an expert, license it yourself, add this value for your clients. If you want to go to the next level and do marketing, the college money report and some of the lead capture, what we're able to do from an integration and standpoint, that's another piece. If we really want that marketing. If you want to go to the full level, creating a team, using this as a marketing hub, we'd love to have a conversation with you. So, if you're the lead on those pieces, love to talk. Number two, is I encourage a lot of advisors that maybe are seasoned. They come to this and they go, geez, Joe, like you focus on this every day. And the answer is yes, because I have a great partner that does other things. But my suggestion is if you've got a junior planner, I'd highly encourage you to have them become your college planning expert. Have them work with the next generation of investor. So reach down into those Gen X and Gen Y conversations. Have that expert on your team. And then thing number three, you outsource it. We can have a conversation about staffing this up so that you have, when you need it, you have access to College Aid Pro and you have access to humans that can help support you in your college planning. So any of those are great. Again, we put the link in there in the chat and we'll send it out as follow-up, but we'd love to have a conversation with you and learn how we can help you make sure you're serving clients at a higher level, getting more clients in the door with college planning. We say it all the time, nothing gets butts in seats like college planning or on Zoom meetings as it is today. We think it's our whole driving mission is to make sure that every student has a chance to get a great college at a price their family can afford. And we really feel that we can do that, and you can do that. You can become the go-to in your community. So we look forward to helping you attract, acquire, and serve more Gen X families and more families that need help with college. So look forward to chatting with somebody soon. And again, click the link and we'll be in touch with follow-up. And that's all we had for today. I'll see if there's any Q&A that we want to hit on before we bounce here. I've got just about a couple minutes left. So I'm trying to read here, and looks like Matt's actually going to get back to you, Julie, but yeah, these are more, Julie, I think you're an IEC, independent education consultant. So it is important, right? So we think of this in terms of, kind of the three things that need to fit: academic fit, social fit, and financial fit, right? So for our advisors, what we typically coach is stay in your lane. So we focus on the financial aspects, obviously, and we oftentimes will refer to either education consultants or people that do more of the career side to help with that. So, we've created a lot of great partnerships with IECs that don't want to really deal with the money side. So, we want to help everybody and help everybody do their highest and best use. So I think, there's a tremendous opportunity to meld together expertise. I think of, and for you all that maybe are newer to college planning, there's a lot of market participants, and we talk about this ability to create a great client experience. You don't have to do everything for everybody, but you want to make sure that everything gets done. So oftentimes that means you're referring business to other people. In traditional financial planning, we will refer out tax work and legal work. So, if you're doing college financing, you're very well going to get asked, like, what about ACT prep? What about finding a good social fit? So having a resource that you can turn to, that's something we've done webinars on in the past. And so something we'll continue to provide great resources that are out there that want to support students in different ways. So, all right, guys, I think that's what we had for the day. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Tell your friends, all this is kind of new. So for a lot of folks, so we're excited to get it to you first. And again, book a demo by the end of the week, and you'll be eligible for a free month of whatever you purchase from that demo. So thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your week.